Good evening, Speed Gaming, and welcome to the Links of the Past Randomizer Open League. We got some more as part of our conference finals. Tonight we are showing JKLOL with Kaysden versus Oops All Foxes. Running for Foxes is Chloe Prower. This is the Power Pendant matchup, and they have selected to be running Hard MC Shuffle tonight. I'm Radical Sniper 99, joined tonight by Days Cloud. How's it going?
Oh, it's going fantastic right here. We are kind of looking forward to this here. It's been a little bit of a time since could get here behind the mic, and really glad to be with you tonight, there, Radical Sniper. 'Cause these two teams have fought through, and they've made their way all the way to the conference finals, like you mentioned. So we're looking for quite an interesting race here. Going to see exactly which one of these teams can take the two game to one lead going into game 4.
Yeah, and here's the big thing. Like, I know conference finals, huge deal here going on right now for sure. But for the teams, honestly, tonight's kind of, or this week and this round is kind of the ease portion for these teams making the conference finals. The big thing there is, of course, it means that both teams secured a spot in next season's Invitational League. So really, this is just playing for pride on both sides.
Right. That should be that's definitely something to look at there. I mean, yeah, to be completely honest, there isn't a massive amount of stakes here, but I mean, come on, how do you want to go into the
Of course,
Invitational League? Do you want to
no.
go in as the Open League champions, or do you want to go, I was number 4 out of 4? And it looks like we're starting.
Both runners starting at Sanctuary, getting that small key. Now, of course, this says, as you can see, it says Hard MC Shuffle. What that means, we got the maps and the compasses. They're not in their dungeons, and it's a hard item pool.
Right. So
So
we're looking at 2 extra items in every single dungeon. So that's gonna maybe change how maybe how you route the early ways there. Just trying to see exactly what you can, what you can get from certain things. Like going into Eastern, you've got 5 items available instead of 3 items. There's a lot of, somewhat different plays you might see these runners make today.
yeah, we already saw the tier 2 tree pull from Kaysden. Chloe going right into Lost Woods. We see that our bush crab is nothing, and we've got a heart container there in the thief drop down. And Chloe's actually just going to bail, not even going to head towards Kakariko.
I think that's the old, I don't have any bombs, let me go come from the south here and see what we can get. As we get flippers there out of Link's house, so that'll be a nice early find there. We're going to have to see exactly if we need them. Going to need a lot of money before we can do something with Zora, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely gives us some options to start. And yep, Chloe is going for that bombs. Those 50-50s does get 1 out of 2, so living up to its numbers.
It'll be interesting to see exactly how many bombs this Chloe decide to go for here. It gets 3 there. It gets a nice kind of lucky drop there. So that's going to be a little bit of an early help to them, as Kaysden looks like he's just going to make his way directly into Kakariko and kind of just go for it here. Or he's going to tree pull for 4 bomb pack each. There's run in with 8 bombs and look like a genius.
Yeah, I've actually, Kay's and I have been practicing some recently and talking about, openers. And like, I've been pretty hard on being an uncle starter, but he's been changing it up a little bit more often. And one of the cool things he was talking about was the idea of doing the Sank start. And instead of just worrying about the items, he's setting up for multiple tree pulls. So, he did the 2, and then he did a 1, and then he also did a 3. So, like, he was looking to go for all of those.
And that is a good point there, because each of those different tree pulls have different prizes associated with them. And you saw that Kaysden did go through everything as Chloe picks up a lamp out of Chicken Hut. Go through everything and did finally get rewarded with that, and is going to get the hammer locked out in the back of Blind's hut right there. So kind of nice. Now neither runner actually has found any rupees yet, so we're gonna just leave that bottle vendor sitting there.
Yeah, really going to hope for Cackwell here to kind of bolster us. We know we're going to get at least 20 rupees here in the well, so we're looking for a 50, really. Well, there's a little bit of the way.
All right, well, both runners in the well right now. Not really any prizes to be spoke for, so we've got a little bit. We got a book. Now, that might be good for Chloe in her routing here. And they're routing because they can run up and check the ped on their way if they decide to. But that bow is probably more interesting.
Yeah, that's a nice find for sure. And yep, Kazan is going for an extra drop into the well to get the rest of the money so he can check out the bottle vendor.
I'm kind of wondering if Chloe might decide to do the same thing, kind of slide through, maybe back through the well real quick, pick up quick 10 more rupees because there's not going to be any money otherwise here. All right, bottle vendor, what are you going to give? Ah, that's just 3 bombs. So if Chloe skips that, then that'll be a decent thing. Now that's going to be sitting in the back of her mind there for a little while, but we're going to see exactly what that turns into later. I'll probably come back through and pick that up, but for 3 bombs, no big punish there.
Yeah. And that's the only real issue always. We talk about the idea of being able to skip things or not, check something and pay a bad price with it. I think, as you were saying, it's just that back of mind moment. It's like, is there something that I need later?
Right. So on over there on Chloe's side, they decided to go to the bomb shop right next to Lake Hylia on their way over to Eastern as we go. Now, because this is Map Compass Shuffle, we have no way of knowing at the moment exactly if this is going to be a pendant or if this is going to be a crystal. We're going to find out exactly probably when Chloe goes ahead and takes down the Armos Knights back there.
Yeah, and that's kind of the hard part about this mode. I think, both of our runners are probably looking at the hard item pool and going, yeah, this is pretty normal, as we do get that info that Meyer is our green pendant. But that MC shuffle is really the question mark to keep in mind throughout. We get the map to GT, one of the worst maps in the game, and a Moon Pearl. So we are just a glove from Dark World Access.
That is true. So we're gonna have to find that glove somewhere in the world here. I mean, anytime you find that hammer, you find a hammer, you find your bow and everything else here, you might actually start thinking, if you can get a glove here out of Eastern, you could actually kind of combo Eastern Palace with Pod here in just a second. You finish Eastern, run down to the portal, hop in, go up to Pod. I mean, won't be the easiest fight in the world, but you could do it.
Yeah, that's a really tempting play for sure. Having that bow, that's a good way to get rid of Helmasaur, to be honest.
And we're gonna see exactly what is our first item going to be in Eastern Palace today. There it is. That's our glove. First item in Eastern Palace. So if Chloe decides they can run directly into Pod right after finishing this, and that's going to be Dark World access sub 7 minutes.
Yeah, kind of good, kind of bad. Not sure how to feel.
Yeah, that's one of those. Do you want to go check Mini Moldorm Cave? Do you want to go maybe save and quit out of Eastern, go to Hype Cave first? I mean, there's a lot of things that's going to be in a kind of a Sphere Zero location here, as you get a hook shot as well.
Oh my gosh, wow.
So your options just exploded. So that puts your Death Mountain now into logic as well, because you've got your glove, you got your lamp, and you've got a hook shot. If you want to go and finish off Hera, that's available as well.
Yeah, and that hook shot does make even Mini Moldorm Cave a lot better, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's true, because at the moment, as you see Chloe go ahead and punch air there for a minute, there is no sword for either runner at the moment, so we're gonna have to kind of kind of make things up as we go with weapons. The hammer is good, but it's inconsistent. Can we call it that?
That's probably the nicest way we could describe that weapon.
Most PG way of describing that, at least. This is a PG channel, of course.
So Kaizen also into Eastern Palace. So both of our runners are just going to full clear Eastern at this point. And why wouldn't you, honestly?
Yeah, no, I mean there's very little point to being able to put this thing off. But we're gonna see exactly what you're gonna get out of the back here. I'm very curious to see what the runners do. Now, Kaisden's a little bit behind Chloe at the moment, but that is mostly because Kaisden decided to go ahead and check Hobo really fast, which didn't get him anything, unfortunately. But we're gonna see exactly what else is
So yeah, as we said, this is our third game in this series, though. We had a game one on Wednesday night between Leoria and Adalor, and then earlier today we did have myself versus Zeruvian to put us at this 1-1 tie right now. So
if I remember seeing the results from your match earlier today, it looked like you guys got drug all over creation there on in a cross keys match.
pretty much, so, we both just about all dungeoned it.
Ooh, a very nice quick setup there on Kaisden, there in that Stalfos room. Getting a quick three arrows into the Stalfos there to kind of save a little bit of time.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Chloe did get the rupees out of the Eastern Rupee room. Not a ton, but the extra 90 is a good find. Always. You kind of don't see that play too often ever.
Yeah, that's actually really smart on Chloe's side, and I think that pretty much guarantees that they're headed to Pod immediately after this, because needed to get that money to be able to pay the monkey, and that's my guess for probably what's going to happen next after this.
Yeah, we'll see if Kaizen takes a similar approach here, because he's also a little bit short right now.
All right, Chloe's setting up for the quick kill on the Armos Knights. Ooh, gonna take a little bit of a ding there, so we're not gonna get the quick kill here, so we're gonna have to scramble a bit.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. This is just a lot of... It's extra arrows to go into the fight. Does get the job done. 5 rupees off of Armos, and that is a crystal. So here we go. Kaizen also heading into the back. We'll see if he hits that rupee room. And yes, he does.
And that's not something you typically see in a race like this, is a double Eastern Rupee room.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that very frequently. And I'm kind of surprised we don't get the pod play from Chloe.
Yeah, that's a little shocking. But I think this might just be, hey, I could make Pod a heck of a lot easier if I check Mini Moldorm and head into Hype Cave, come through that way. Like, you know, if you leave Mirror in here and you go into Pod, I could see this being probably a better play, as Mini Moldorm's just dropping hearts and hearts and hearts and more hearts for Chloe there. Alright, but so far, this Mini Moldorm Cave is not particularly interesting. We get a map to Thieves Town, which will be our first map of the day, but there is our flute sitting there in the far right chest there in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Meanwhile, Kaizen entering the Armos fight. See if he can get that quick kill. Nice start. Oh, one arrow into the wall, but yep, still gets it. Nicely done. And Chloe might be making their way over to Desert by the looks of it. Having that book doing mini Moldorm first and then coming towards the dam, is this potentially a look at our at desert area?
Yeah, you could be right. Man, I would if you go to desert right now without the boots, I think you're gambling. But no, it looks like we're gonna be heading up towards Hype Cave instead. So yeah, but that was a very probable play that Chloe could have made there. It would have been very risky.
Yeah, if anything, I would, especially given finding the flute, maybe that's a change of plans as well to say, no, if I'm going to go to desert, I should flute there.
Yeah, and as you see, Kaysden just goes immediately down to Mirror Portal 5 there, south of Pod, and it's going to come up through this way, while Chloe's going to take a little bit of extra time, check out these 5-item caves here. So far, the flute has been the biggest thing, as we'll get our little bat friend there to give us 300 rupees, get a shovel, which is interesting, and also a bottle.
Yeah, nice little finds there for sure in Hype Cave. Not necessarily super hype, but not the worst things we've ever seen. And yeah, I mean, with the pod play, I think I agree, I agree with the idea that having the mirror would be a nice little benefit. But given we don't have too much health, and we also know we're not getting any mail upgrades, we should be fine for death warping. And we found that swamp, and what was the other one?
To be completely
House
honest,
of Darkness.
Oh, okay. Well, then even more reason to go. I blinked at the worst time. So it was really hard there. So okay, yeah, we've got Chloe heading up towards the pyramid, and we've got Kaysden already into pod. So yeah, you are right here. This is hard mode. Like that kind of probably should spell that out real fast. We got a maximum of 14 hearts. Green mail is the best that we will find today, and on top of that, assuming that we're going to find swords eventually, the best we could get out of those will be tempered.
Yeah, now the big thing to remember is all of these items are placed. So the mails were placed, all the 4 swords are out there, both bows are out there, or we're out there. There's our first sword. But what happens is that once you find that 3rd sword, so the 4th one becomes a green 20. Same for the bow, same for the extra hearts. All these extra things were placed, but they will turn into green 20s as soon as we find the max level.
And kind of interesting thing, other thing is that we're not getting silvers now. And if you were paying attention there on Chloe's screen, you saw that there was a green 20 on the pyramid. Those were the silvers today.
Potentially.
I think they kind of had to be at this point.
That or armor.
Oh right, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I that's right. You are stuck.
That's always the one that's kind of easy to forget, is that maybe we found an armor upgrade, but yeah, that could have just as easily been our silvers. So, and there's our mitts. Wow, loaded House of Darkness as well.
So this was a very straight shot for our runners. Just come immediately into this area, and you'll get mitts, you'll get hook shot. Death Mountain is looking juicy right now.
Gaze, and you have a sword. So using that bomb throw technique to get the switch hit, making his way to the back. Meanwhile, Chloe is into the front of House of Darkness. A lot of keys, but lots of items as well. This is going to be quite the loaded dungeon, even if we get nothing else out of here.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you got a sword and you got mitts already. I think at this point, anything else, if you're asking for anything else to show up here, I think you might just be getting greedy. But we'll see here. We're in the basement here. As we get a second sword. All right, so Master Sword on top of that, and the big key. So that's 3 out of the 7 items in this dungeon right now.
Yeah, and what this is becoming, this could easily just become a question of, do our runners just have to take a gamble on a dungeon?
Yeah, that is kind of one of those nasty situations where things are starting to get almost too open. in a kind of a weird way. Like it seems like, oh, everything's great. Oh, I can beat all these dungeons. Yeah, but which one should you beat first? And that's gonna be sitting there ringing in your head at some point. Is nice bomb yump, hammer yump there from Kazdin as he gets across and gets nothing out of the big chest.
Yeah, it looks like he's thinking instead of a death warp, he'll just set up for the to come back through the harmless hellway. So
That's some smart routing there, especially when you don't have the mirror. Routing pod without a mirror is not a whole lot of fun, but this is probably the best way to do it for sure. As Chloe goes ahead and is making their way to the back as Kazdin goes ahead, picks up the small key from Harmless Hellway, and will likely be heading on the way to ooh, this is going to be kind of an awkward thing here. Oh, that's an interesting little technique there from Kazdin. I didn't know that you could do that.
yeah, I love that one. I saw that. I don't remember when I first saw that one in a different tournament or a different daily race or something, and I've started adapting that one if I ever come through the Hellway as well. It's a really, really cool little way to save yourself any headache with those.
Oh, very nice. Honestly, dang. Oh yeah, I'm stealing that one myself there. I have questions like, do you have to hold down or something, or
Yeah,
is
you're holding
it
the sword up, and then you're just like having the sword charge, and you're going to just jump backwards, really.
and you don't have to keep holding down or anything? It just knocks them
Nope,
off.
you just, yep.
How is it that I've been playing this game for almost 5 years and I just now am finding that out? As Chloe gets the worst
Oh,
timed
wow.
health refill ever. So, luckily these Kadongos back here take off a heart each. So does the fire. So, I mean, death warping, not that big of a deal, but losing a little bit of time.
Yeah, the difference on that heart really is just the fact that Kazin picked up the heart in Lost Woods.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, sometimes you don't think about that. You'll skip a heart, and it'll come up later. And most of the time, you get a heart refill, you're really happy. But every once in a while, man, yeah, it's not so good. As Kazdin's into his Helmasaur fight, holding out the sword here for a little bit more protection, because Helmasaur will take off 2 hearts of damage there if you give him a hug. So you're gonna want to not do that.
Yeah, and this is for anybody who loves when comms bring this up, this is NMG level fight here. This is a very typical health situation for that fight. So, and equipment in general. The only thing we were missing was boots.
Yeah, as Kazdin, very nice there. Helmasaur did kind of play nice for him as well, as he kind of just charged right down, not far enough to trap him, but either way, Kazdin took him down really nice there. And that's going to be crystal number 2 for Kazdin, as Chloe is right behind him, though.
Yeah, not too much of a difference here in what we've checked. Kazdin did do the hobo and the bottle vendor. Chloe, however, doing mini Moldorm Cave and Hype Cave.
Yeah, and it kind of looks unsurprising to me that Kazdin's going to prioritize the mountain at this point. So,
oh, I was gonna say I thought this was gonna be Village of Outcasts, but you might be right with the mountain call.
I mean, you just got mitts, you just got your hook shot. I mean, it kind of feels like to me like the game is screaming at you, hey, you should probably come up here. There's something you want. I don't know. No, we'll see exactly. Because, I mean, you would like to, if in a perfect world, you'd love to come up here with, Kane and Kane of Samaria and Fire Rod and Ice Rod. But, I mean, come on now. We play Rando. That never happens.
What do you mean? Don't you always have go mode before visiting the mountain the first time?
Yes, quite often. Very nice fight over there on Chloe's side. So they take him down. Nicely done. Gonna be crystal number 2 for them.
Yeah, and I think there's actually a better chance that Chloe goes Village of Outcasts here, given that flute acquisition.
Yeah, and I'm there might even be a chance of a quick flute over into Mire. Now, since Mire is our green pendant, you don't want to necessarily go inside, but you might want to at least get the idea of if there's something just sitting there in Mire Shed for you.
Yeah, those are easy free 2 items, as we do see the half magic up on Spectacle Rock. And nothing inside.
That half magic is, it's so tempting, but
Especially in a hard item pool.
yeah, but that's in just of an awkward enough location that I'm pretty sure both of the runners are going to skip that.
Yeah, I think if you only, like, if you don't find Tempered Sword, I'd be very tempted to go grab it eventually.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is one of those cases though where we get a map to Turtle Rock out of the back of Escape there on Chloe's side. That might be worth checking here sooner than later. But yeah, this is one of those times where you're kind of hoping that Swamp might be a crystal, so you can know that you're going to be getting the mirror, so that you can get that, or else things could get really go real sideways for you real quick, as
Yeah.
we're gonna get up to the 5 items up in Paradox Cave at the top here. Bottom, top, something.
This is the middle.
The
At
middle.
least that's what I
Okay.
would say.
Okay. Yeah, that works. This mini Moldorm is just causing problems.
Yeah, we did see Dark Cross was just some bombs as we get the Bombos medallion out of our Paradox 5 here. And that's really it.
Yeah, that's all. So you got a Bombos, you've got well, let's see here. Let's put together the puzzle here. We got a Bombos, we got Mitts, and we've got Flippers.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, sure. We all want to go to Ice Palace with 8 hearts, Master Sword, and as many
Nope.
checks as we have seen both of our runners kind of leave, as Chloe does activate their flute. And Kaizen's going to make his way over to Hera and the Ether Tablet.
A couple more checks up here. Definitely going to take down Moldorm when we head in there. See if that can be another crystal. But yeah, we've just got so many things open to us here.
Yeah,
So
this seed is insanely open right now. And there's that bottle turn in that we got out of Hype Cave as well, or was that mini Moldorm Cave? Either way, we got that
yeah,
first bottle, and it just leads to a shield.
I think it was
Oh,
mini
heart piece.
Moldorm. Oh no, it is Hype Cave. It was Hype Cave, right. So yeah, never mind. But let's go ahead and we're going to check Powder, as Chloe's going to come through and just take care of quite a few things in this area.
Yeah, and I think Chloe heads possibly into Thieves Town after this.
Oh, Kaysden's got to make a decision here. Yep, okay. There was a map in the very front basement of Hera there, and then on top of that, the next thing you get is the small key. If you want to be really gambly, you could go ahead and do the Hera pod up and pray that there's nothing in the big chest, but that's statistically unlikely.
Yeah, unfortunately, with this MC shuffle, you almost feel like you have to do every chest in this dungeon, and that includes getting your big key.
Right. Yeah, and I actually was thinking that there was compasses and other things in here, but yeah, you're 100% right. There is an item, 100% going to be an item there. Now you don't know what it's going to be, but we'll check out what the shovel gives us there. That's going to be 50 more rupees, and Chloe is off.
And Kaizen's going to take a death warp here from the big key chest. Okay, Chloe's actually heading up the mountain as well, so pretty much our 2 runners almost in lockstep for the most part.
Yeah, Chloe's got a little bit more of the overworld check. Kaysden definitely rushing dungeons today. As we're going to set up for this nice little Philly pot there, a little bit too far. Yeah, I'm going to have to redo that there, looked like.
That looks good that time. And just 100 rupees out of the Hera big chest, so could skip the big key if desired.
Right, into the Moldorm fight over on Kazdan's side here. So, time to find out if this was worth coming into, as we're gonna have to try to get this hammer to hit on Moldorm's tail there. 2 shots, no problem there. Gets the third, not an issue. Kazdan taking him down really quickly. And survey says this is going to be another crystal. All right, now it's time to start asking exactly, hey, where are our pendants? Which one of these do we know? We know Meyer, but we're starting to run lower on dungeons here as this is at the moment here pretty fast from both of our runners here is gonna have pretty close to 3 crystals apiece within around 30 minutes.
Yeah, this is usually like, when I'm running my own seeds, I'm thinking like, this is the pace I want to set for like casual boots. Like 10 minutes a crystal, yeah, great.
Mm.
And we're on an open seed with that kind of pace.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of wonder when the other shoe is going to drop here, because like the seeds don't, like occasionally you'll run into a jet seed where things will just do this mini Moldorm just does not want to get off Chloe. But often, it looks like a jet seed, and then all of a sudden you spend the next 30 minutes looking for ice rod or something.
Yeah.
But Kazdan going to give us a lot of information here in a minute. I guess part of me's a little surprised we didn't go in through the Turtle Rock portal here, just in case you could open it up and maybe go in. But to be fair, I don't think you probably want to be going into Turtle Rock here, unless you just get obscenely lucky with the next couple of drops. Ooh, Chloe. Dead rocks. So Kazdan's going to give us our first look at what is in Hookshot Cave, but first we're going to go check to see what medallion we're going to be looking for today, and it is the Ether medallion. So we couldn't even get into Turtle Rock right now if we wanted to. Never mind the cane and everything else that we would need to actually make going in there viable. As pointless map to pod at this point, since we've already beaten it. And does kind of look like a whole bunch of junk in here, and yep, that's a whole bunch of junk. Is does gonna get Kazdan up to 10 hearts, which is nice, but not overly helpful. All right. Chloe on the other side, going ahead, doing the same thing as Kazdan did, coming down to the bottom of Hera basement here, picking up the big key, so can be able to take care of this. Kazdan on the other side is just making a beeline, realizing that he's got everything that he needs, and is going to start knocking out some of more of these Sphere Zero locations.
Yeah, and I imagine we'll see Kazdan after, doing Mini Moldorm Cave, head up to Hype Cave, and then probably just route into Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, that's it. That's kind of the decision here. Is Kazdan's going to get this flute, right? And imagine Hype Cave, and then what do you want to do there? Because you can go you can go to, you're gonna go to the village for sure. But are you gonna go and check? You're gonna be going to the left, yeah. I'm just trying to think of a way that going up to like Pyramid and Catfish makes any sort of sense right now, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, unfortunately, like I think both of our runners are just going to be orphaning kind of Ice Rod Cave and Pyramid, and or at least Catfish, because I thought we saw Pyramid from Chloe.
We did see Pyramid from Chloe, but yeah, Kaysden doesn't know that yet, and interestingly enough, is gonna walk to Ice Rod Cave, or is this going to be that Ice Palace play that we were thinking about a second ago?
Looks like we are getting the Ice Rod or the Ice Rod Cave play.
A bit surprising considering that you just picked up the flute.
Yeah, and he's got the extra money, so maybe he's also thinking he's going to hit up Zora area.
Well, we'll see if it pays out for him here. As we're going to get into Ice Rod Cave as Chloe picks up Crystal number 3 over on their side, and Ice Rod Cave is just going to be a big 20. So that's probably not worth the walk, unfortunately.
Yeah, really, it's just so many checks. Like, as we've been saying, the game is too open, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just you're dealing with this thing in your head where you're like, oh, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to do this. You're going to try to be as efficient as possible, but you're always going to be thinking, what has my opponent done? Where did they go? Like, kind of... Did they do something else? You know, like if you do a whole bunch of checks, it doesn't pay out, and then you do then it, you know, a completely other viable strategy turns out to be exactly what you needed to do. You're gonna probably feel kind of bad here. As Kaysden gonna go ahead and we're gonna make this long, splashy, slow walk up to Zora here. As 300 rupees sitting there on the ledge, and yeah, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we've got at least 2 dungeons we can beat right now, so we don't know what they are, but we can beat them.
Right, yeah, you can go to Thieves Town, we can go to Ice Palace, we can beat both of them, as Zora gives Kaysden absolutely nothing, as Chloe kind of unfortunately doesn't get the hookshot clip through right there, but...
Yeah, and that one's always a little bit harder to hit on. Now, Kaysden is going to head to Kakariko to activate his flute, which means he's not going to hit... Oh, I'm completely wrong. No, he's doing Back of Escape.
Well, this would get him a map to Turtle Rock. So, I mean, at least still, information-wise, we'll be on the same level here. Yes. We keep finding maps to dungeons that we've already completed. That's not particularly useful. Yeah, thanks a ton there, game. That's everything we needed. I mean, to be honest, if I'm Chloe right now, I'd be very tempted to slam on that X button right now and find out, do I ever need to go into Turtle Rock?
Yeah, we just haven't seen that map check yet, surprisingly.
I mean, to be fair, you usually want to like not do a map check immediately if you've only got like one, but you know, you tend to wait till you have more information. But man, when it comes to Turtle Rock, I want to know if that ice rod's a thing. And even more, like if it's a double, if both of our medallion dungeons are pendants today, this could turn into an extremely fast seed, but not gonna get that information quite yet.
And Kaysden is also going to make that Sank start this time to activate his flute. And Chloe remembers, I never paid that guy.
Actually, a pretty good time to do it there because he only had 3 bombs, now has 6. So,
most convenient.
Yeah, the strategy was good, right?
We do have a crystal at Turtle Rock, and was that a pendant at Thieves Town.
That was a pendant at Thieves Town. Yeah, that is not probably what the runners wanted to see, honestly. So that means we are looking for pretty much every item in the game at this point.
Yeah. There is definitely not an item we can get away with missing here.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go into the back of Skullwoods here first over on Chloe's side. This fun Gibdo room here. Fun with giant air quotes around it here as we just try to get through it there the best we can. Lure these Gibdos away.
Yeah, it's great if you can get onto the cycle really, or the pattern, to get that without having to deal with the hand too much, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. But we are through that. Kazin is going to give us the Mire area at least. He does that map check to get that information about Thieves and TR. And it's Bombos for Mire.
Okay, so knowing it's a green pendant, knowing that there's 4 items in there, are you tempted at all?
I feel like without Samaria, I agree with not going in right now.
Yeah, you can get back to Mire pretty quickly, as we're gonna get a mushroom out of the right side chest here in Skullwoods. We've got the big key out of the back, so gonna be able to check a few other things in here. There's a compass to Thieves Town.
Our second quote-unquote item. And Chloe doesn't have any keys.
That doesn't happen very often. So
No,
we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go jump down the other side here, which doesn't feel great, but whatever. It's the problem with doing something like this. You kind of go, oh, come on, game. But at the same time, you kind of realize, my opponent gonna have to do this too.
And there's Kazen's first bottle over in chest game. We've gotten 2 small keys in a row here for Chloe as well.
I'm really expecting key number 3 right here, if I'm being honest. Hey, there it is.
This isn't cross keys.
Yep. Oh, why couldn't it be cross keys? Cross keys is fun. We get this.
Now, Chloe not taking the death there, by the way, to anybody who's like, oh, you could have just taken the death. That would have put Chloe right back to the drop-down point. So Chloe really did have to walk out there.
Chloe's going to have to be careful there with only 2 hearts. You don't want to take an overworld death. I mean, that is a very, very, very time-wasty sort of thing that could happen to you as take a look at Bumper Cave, see nothing on that. Kazen there looks like picked up a bacon sword there, our tempered sword. I want to say, was that the front of Thieves Town? I didn't actually see. Yeah. I just see that he's swinging that thing around now.
Yeah, he got his 3rd level sword in Thieves Town, so really nice find.
All right,
and so yeah, 3 items in the front. There are 6 items in Thieves Town, so we've still got 3 more available, and that small key, of course. But Kazen saying it's a pendant, I don't really care enough to want to complete it right now.
Yeah, I think that's a completely fair thing to do here. Just because going into a pendant Thieves Town, you kind of have to feel like this is something. I'm a little shocked Chloe's taking a death warp this soon. I figured go pick up the items first, but
maybe this could be Chloe saying, hey, I've done almost the rest of my available checks, and I expect that I'm going to full clear Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what that says, doesn't it? We'll have to see. I mean, if Chloe decides not to go ahead and go to the back here, I'm gonna be a little surprised that we took the death warp there. But Kazen's gonna go. We're gonna get a quick look here with our mitts and our hammer. We're gonna check out hammer pegs the incredibly slow way. And eventually, we're gonna see what's hiding in this one little cave, and we're not gonna pick that up.
Yeah, no.
So we so you're gonna be able to beat Thieves down here.
And that
You're
looks to be, yep, I think that's Chloe's plan here.
yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense from their perspective because I mean they've cleared Hype Cave, they've cleared pretty much everything else. It's
Yeah, the only other thing I think you could even consider right now is going for Ice Palace.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand doing this because I mean, Ice Palace, we don't actually know what that is right now. If that's our last pendant, I mean, you don't really want to go in there. You prefer to go in there with Samaria anyway, so Kaysden having just a ton of digs to grab a map to Swamp Palace, which is, I mean, vaguely useful.
Yeah, Kaysden doesn't know that that's our other 5/6 crystal. He might be going to talk to Big Bomb and find that out as well, but yeah, not too much of a benefit.
Yeah, that's not gonna be fantastic by any means. So we're gonna grab our little froggy friend here, and I guess what are we thinking here? We're gonna take we're doing a froggy world tour. It kind of looks like.
Yeah, at least we're going to get Stumpy and Hype Cave, I think. We'll see if Kaysden decides to go the rest of the way to Quakefish for the Grand Tour.
First item out of the back of out of Thieves Town here for Chloe just turned out to be a heart piece. So. Nothing too interesting so far. Gonna make our way down to the basement here and actually start finding a couple of the other things.
Yeah, big question, of course, is do we have the small key here in Blind Cell, or is it locking itself?
Let's find out real fast here. We're gonna get to the back, and survey says that is the small key, so we gotta go check the big chest then. And I'm seeing a couple of calls from chat there to say, hey, why has nobody gone to Uncle yet? It's been 45 minutes. Why has nobody gone to Uncle? That is a very good point. We're trying to find out exactly if that would be talk about a place that if something important is there, you immediately feel about 10 times behind.
Yeah, and it's just, it's kind of luck of the draw here that both of our runners going with a Sank start, and we've just been loaded every step of the way.
Definitely, and that's kind of the funny thing right now is you kind of wonder if either of these two runners did a little bit of research before starting this match here, because one of the things that might be worth knowing going into a playoff match like this is, what are my opponent's tendencies? Do they Uncle start? Do they Thanks start? Like, because if you know that you've got an opponent who Uncle starts, as we're most of the way through a blind fight here,
and Days, did you see what we found?
we saw a fire rod there, didn't we?
Yeah, we saw a fire rod off of the Smith.
Yeah, that's kind of why I stopped talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna give you another thing here to for us to do. As Chloe finishes off Thieves Town, gets a whole fat lot of nothing.
Yeah, the best start of the best part of Thieves Town was the front of it at this rate.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of those things that if this turns into an ice rod hunt, that might help Chloe later, but at the moment that is unfortunately just a whole bucket of time loss. But Kaysden not going to waste any time just saying, I got fire rod, let me go kill him off.
Yeah, and he's going right to the back on this one, just saying, you know what, I've got this. He hasn't even checked any of it, so I got to think he does back to front here.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's actually kind of a good thing for Kaysden not having checked anything. If he's counting, could get away with not checking any of the key locked stuff there on the left side, because that is just keys and keys and keys and more keys.
Yeah, I forgot. Kazan actually does like to do that first check in Skull Woods. Regardless of what he's going to do, he loves checking that right chest first. And unfortunately, it's not as valuable as a play, I think, in this MC shuffle, just because of the fact, you got those 4 items. And Chloe
Ooh,
says no to the map.
that is surprising. I mean, that's knowledge. Now, Chloe doesn't know that that she already they already know that, but yeah, kind of surprised there.
And Chloe did not pick up the Smith on the end of that route. So we'll see how Chloe decides to proceed at this moment. I'm really curious what they think their next play is going to be now. Oh, hey, we're going to get Uncle.
Okay, so here's a big moment. If there's something just sitting here, there's Uncle plus there's, I want to say, all of the items in the front of this. I think we did.
got the small key. The small
Did
key
we?
was
I think that's what we
available.
started. Yeah,
Yeah.
we started out with that, didn't we? I mean, we'll find out real quick here. Yeah, we're gonna head to Uncle. Uncle's not having anything.
Yeah, all that talk about the uncle like dying and bleeding out, that we just stole the last piece of his heart. So, monsters. All of us.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Blue cane, though.
That's an interesting find, to be honest. Usually not something we'd say has much value, but in this case, that does give us Spike Cave.
Yeah, that's like the worst, probably my least favorite location in the game.
Yeah.
And
That or
being able
catfish.
yeah, and just being able to get that there, I get very nervous because you could have, if you had routed Uncle from the beginning, which in an open start many people do, there's an argument that the first time you climb the mountain there, you'd go and you jump into, you jump into Spike Cave the first time, but either way, and there is Quake in the first chest of this, as Kazan took down Moth there for crystal number 4.
Yeah, and what we can say so far is that we know that Quake medallion is not required. We know that it is Bombos for Meyer if we need it, and Ether for TR. So Quake is not our needed medallion today.
And on top of all of that, we've kind of got this weird little thing where if you look down, it looks like, for what we know, it's either Desert Palace as our last pendant today, or it's going to be Ice Palace. So
yeah, and if Kazan decides to keep at the dungeons that he's kind of been playing towards, I gotta think we might see Ice Palace soon. Like, we don't have a lot of great options here. It's either dip desert with a chance to be boots locked, or take a relatively slow ice.
yeah, that's a hard one here. Is getting into the bottom of the castle there, down to Zelda Cell over on Chloe's side, yields just 10 arrows. So nothing missed on that side, but that blue cane.
And I was gonna say, is Chloe gonna go right to Spike Cave? No.
Probably gonna turn in this mushroom, it looks like, and buy a couple of potions, maybe. Or did we already turn in the mushroom?
And unfortunately, Kazan actually dropping into Skull Woods, so he's gonna still full clear the woods. And
Yep.
apparently we did not get the mushroom turn in.
Alright, so we're gonna do that now. Yep, Kazan's gonna get the parade of small keys here. And just a heart piece on that mushroom turn in for Chloe. So if you're rooting for Oops All Foxes right now, I think you're kind of hoping that Chloe goes ahead and gets to the Smith chain sooner than later, but not heading that way at the moment.
Yeah, and that's the big thing here is, we early on, we could say that Chloe was a little bit ahead from some of the checks, and Kazan had kind of taken a little more thorough of an approach in some regards, and now it's just kind of coming back the other way, is that Kaizen's throwness early paid out with Fire Rod, and Chloe's now having to kind of just go back and hit these extra checks again.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. It's just Smith Chain is one of those things where it's finding the right time to do it is kind of terrible.
Yeah, and that's the best way to put it, honestly. It's mirrorless Smith Chain is nobody's friend.
I mean,
I know at least a mutual friend of like Kaizen and our team is always says mirror on Smith Chain, mirror on the Smiths.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's the worst case scenario there, is because I mean because Kaizen has done the first part,
Yeah,
but didn't do purple chest. So Smith Chain right now is only about half completed. So, I guess we're gonna have to put a big old to be continued on this right now. As we're gonna have Chloe gonna take the long splashy walk up to Zora to get their 20 rupees, as Kaizen's gonna dig up 50 here from the dig spot. And yeah, now where are we headed?
I was about to say mushroom turn in, fill up the bottles, go directly to Ice Palace. That's just my take on what I see right now. I mean, I know Ice Palace is not exactly the greatest play without Samaria right now, but I feel like it's the smart one. The seed's kind of just been pointing in that direction for a while.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I wouldn't be surprised to see even Chloe head that way. We're fluting to 8, and yeah, that looks like where Chloe is headed. So we're gonna have both runners in the same dungeon, it looks like. But Kaizen's gonna have a much easier time with that fire rod.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to see, who's been practicing their Ice Palace bomb jump. Just so you know, this is still a technique that is very valuable in Link to the Past. We just kind of don't think about it as much because Icebreaker is a bit of spoiled us.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is one of those things where back in the day, this was 100% the first thing you learned when you were learning Rando. But with Icebreaker now, it's not as common, although for the past week, for some reason, in every seed that I've played, I've had to do bomb jumps. So, hey, it's still very, very much something that if you're a newer runner, you should learn. So, with this first check here in Ice Palace here, we're going to get a small key, and I guess with that, we probably should mention really quick, if you are interested in learning more of this game, go ahead and make sure to follow these runners here, who are putting on a very, very good show for us. A nice tight race here in Game 3 of the conference finals in the Open League. Also, go ahead and make sure to give a big shout outs to our tracker today, WinFox 470 there, clicking the buttons there, making sure that we know who is actually doing what. And my name's Dazed Cloud, and I'm joined in here by Radical Sniper, and finally get to cross you off my bucket list.
Oh man, I feel so special.
There's been a handful I've been waiting to get a chance to calm with this
Yeah,
year.
it's one of those
I'm
things.
glad we finally got matched up here.
Yeah.
As these guys are just gonna do this room in tandem here. This is a little bit of synchronized swimming stuff we got going on right now, it looks like. Chloe a little smoother with the first bomb jump. Kazden there, that NMG practice. Oh no, he got that move. I hate that move.
Yeah, that's a terrible one.
Yeah, I think it's for something about that down. If you're facing down there, if you catch the edge of that of skull somehow, sometimes it can just push you into the into the pit. I don't know exactly what it is there, but yeah, that has happened to everyone, and it feels lovely.
So we did get that small key to start here. So Chloe is taking that to head to the right side. I imagine Kaizen's going to do the same. Yep. Nobody likes to go through the hookshot room. We get a compass to Swamp Palace. So there's one of those items, the 5. And there's another one with a heart piece. And with the key that we do have, I imagine we'll next head to Ice Tea. I love this route through Ice Palace.
Yeah, this is one of those where you have those small keys. You're gonna go ahead and just go directly down there and just kind of take care of that. And it's kind of the easier way to do this. There, you never like to have to go through the freezer room down to big chest and then come around to ice tea that way. That just, I don't think time wise is a huge difference, honestly, because you're still having to like, scroll through a ton of screens there, but man, it just feels so much worse.
And yeah, as Amarith is pointing out in chat, the ability to know all stuff by your shadow is just huge.
I still need to learn. I've been playing this game for so long and I still don't use the shadow and people yell at me all the time.
I mean, either that or you just know your sprite that well. Like, either's fine.
Yeah.
But if you find that one day, the sprite that just speaks to you, and you're just like, oh, I love that sprite so much more. And you have to relearn it all.
That is true. But luckily for me, I think at this point, that's not something I need to worry about. As we get the big key there out of freezer room, so going to be able to check check this big chest real quick here. Find that it is not a whole thing. Now, here's the big, fun question. Is this a crystal or is this a pendant?
I'm just waiting for the question of, was Ice Palace trash at this point? Because,
we haven't called a single interesting item out of here, have we?
I mean, unless Blue Boomerang is interesting.
Hey, I mean, it helps in GT, I suppose. I mean, a little bit. But, I mean, yeah. Alright, so, gonna start out with Bombos on Chloe's side, because, unfortunately, no Fire Rod, so that's the only option you have. Bins him into the corner, goes for the setup here. They get away a little bit, but that was a very nice fight over on Chloe's side there.
Yeah, a little bit scary there, down to just 3.5 hearts. But gets the job done. Kazden, meanwhile, does have that Fire Rod. Gonna be able to just
Kazden needs to be careful.
Yeah, please, Kazden.
Oh, that's a hit from death from anything right now on Kazden's side, and avoids the last. Yeah, I was wondering if there was going to be one more ice block coming from the ceiling there, but didn't get him, so everything's okay. That is a pendant, unfortunately, so that means Desert Palace is our last crystal, and both of these runners are probably screaming right now because they just did Ice Palace the long way for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling, and Chloe heading directly to Desert. Oh, Meyer Shed, actually. Okay.
Probably, and this is the point for Chloe where do you go, okay, do I go into Meyer now? I mean, gonna see that you have Bombos.
Yeah, and Kazden, on the other hand, is heading to Desert Palace, so we're gonna find out if we're boots locked, and we need those today.
And trash on the desert ledge there, just a green rupee, so nothing too interesting. Kazden, yep, as you said, going directly into this, and I kind of, if I'm calling it right now, Jesse, I think we're going with a, I think this isn't going to be boots locked.
Yeah, it's definitely not giving it that feeling. I mean, unless it's what we've been kind of hinting at with this Meyer play. Meyer is starting to look a little more appealing, even with the inability to beat the dungeon.
All right, that's big key right there. So, now if there's a small key on the torch, I think this becomes technically...
Yeah, this will be technically boots locked with that small key location.
Yeah, so okay, that can come into play if we get into GT and we find that the big key is on the torch.
Oh no!
Wow, that's brutal.
Oh, that hurts, and I'm sure Kazden's kicking himself for that play, and Chloe's probably going to feel the same momentarily. That hurts hard.
Yeah, so that's the game gently reminding our runners that, hey, by the way, you could have had this, I don't know, about an hour ago. But thanks anyway.
Yeah. So what we can say though is Land Molus will not have our boots. Because as we said, this dungeon is boots locked. Technically, you could have stolen that key under that pot or the one later in the other under the other pots, and go directly to the right side and lock yourself. So that's why it is still technically boots locked here.
Right. And that is kind of the trick here is we don't need boots, but we do kind of need boots. So boots should show up at some point.
Well, and what we can say there is, if for some reason we don't find the boots, which might happen, you never know, we will know that the boots could potentially, or they can't be in GT.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing right now. So, I mean, God forbid we get to the point where we haven't found any boots yet, and we head into GT, walk down those stairs, and see that torch, that key sitting on the torch. We know it's time to leave. All right. Kazden not getting the 0 cycle here, but it's going to set up there. Takes down the second landmoan, takes down the third. Nice and easy. And everything's there. Gets a map, which is going to be just fantastic for him because we've already got all the information. But more importantly, gets crystal number 5.
Yeah, so there is 5 crystals now for Kazden. Chloe about to get crystal number 4. Now for Kazden, of course, he has cleared, he cleared the front of Thieves Town, so he knows there's 3 items left in Thieves. I don't know if that enters his thought on wanting to go into Thieves Town. He might be more tempted to Mire at this point.
Yeah, this is the nasty question here right now. Do you go to Mire? You get what is that? You're gonna get 4 items plus the green pendant out of that, or are you gonna risk going to Turtle Rock without the ice rod?
Well, we can't get into Turtle Rock.
Oh, we don't have ether, right.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah.
So at least
got
that
ahead of myself
gets
there.
rid of one option. We still also have purple chest.
Yay, purple chest!
Yay!
Everybody loves purple chest because it's purple. But yeah, so Kazden just gonna say, nah, forget that. I'm just gonna go check Uncle here at the 1:05 mark because this is perfectly okay. Which does remind me that, yes, Spike Cave is a thing, and so is Catfish. Probably I think we decided we're the 2 worst locations in the game today.
Yep.
Yeah, so those are available to both of the runners as Chloe gets the news that, nope, not Agina either.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, both of our runners, Kazden isn't missing anything yet. It's just, he's also having to go through these extra plays and make the decision. Chloe's got the flute out. This might be Mire. Yep.
Yeah. So, if you're Chloe right now, I guess I don't know, what do you want to see first? Because I don't think you want to see Mirror. Because if you see Mirror, you're going to go to Swamp. You're going to full clear Swamp. I think if you're rooting for Oops All Foxes right now, you're kind of hoping that it's Ice Rod.
I think the hard part here is I don't see Kazden far behind on these checks.
No, I mean, yeah, true. Kazden would be right in here after, but if you grab Mirror out of this or something, then it's gonna be real bad for Chloe.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things here is, we talked a little bit about the idea of the boots. What if we have to go back to desert?
Yeah, no, you're right. I see you've played this game before, sir.
Yeah. Just a few times.
Yeah, no, the game has been known to do terrible things like that at times, and I think at that point you just say, "I'm sorry, runners. This is enjoyable for us to watch, but I imagine the interview will just be screaming."
Yeah. And I see a lot of talk of the pedestal right now. Yeah, technically, all 3 of our pendant dungeons are full clearable.
And that would be kind of nice for Chloe. That is a I'm not saying an out for Chloe right now, but that would be a large advantage as we get the big key and we didn't check you didn't check the spike chest. Oh wait, did you?
No,
Wait.
Chloe didn't. This could be just a play to work around to the right. Come back to the right, possibly. It's an interesting call. And
I've never
Kaizen,
seen. Yeah, it's a
wow, this is
route.
a lot of double backing. I'm not a fan.
No, yeah.
It's like I understand there's, everybody's got their way of doing things. I personally don't like double backing on myself this much.
Yeah, you want to try to avoid backtracking as much as you possibly can because it's,
And part of this is I don't see there's a realm where you don't full mire.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're gonna 100% clear everything here. I mean, I don't know if you grab mirror or something, you might try to convince yourself that it's time to go but I don't know.
Yeah. Nope. And what I will also note is Chloe disabled Spooky with that lamp use.
Yeah, no, Chloe's not going to be able to do it anyway, though. No fire rod
No fire rod. Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, I made the same call a couple of minutes ago anyway. But yeah, so it's basically I don't know. It's gonna have to see exactly if this pays out. Like if we throw a nice big key down here, I guess it doesn't really matter. Oh wait, we already got the big key. That's right. It was a Godmire.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, alright, so we're going to jump down this big hole. Pray that we didn't get 1.0'd by one of those guys there. And that's lovely.
Yep, so that is a required mire play.
Required, not even a required mire play, but a required cutscene chest in mire. That's like
Yeah.
as bad as you could get there. And for Chloe, that I'm just going to say that's disastrous because that's a full clear of swamp coming up.
And I don't think it's a bad play to full clear swamp, though. It's just, like, that sends Chloe further away, I think, from checking Smith.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem is that Kazdin, well, okay, it's bad for Chloe if Ice Rod is in the back of swamp. If Ice Rod is left side of swamp, it's less bad.
Yeah. I mean, depending on where, like, we know that Ether is not in TR. So if we find Ether, this is going to be a really interesting question.
Chloe, you skipped the spike chest again.
Oh, man.
Did Kazdin skip the spike chest?
No, Kazdin did pick that one up.
It was garbage, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Oh, gosh, oh, wow.
Here's the worry here. I've done this before. I think I was in a race recently and at that number and went, why is it not at 7 when I'm about to reach Vitreous and double backed?
Here's the other question. Is Chloe counting items right now? Because if Chloe's got all of the 4 items out of here,
oh, that's possible. Yeah.
Then it might not matter, and I'd really like to see. Okay, that was just a accidental quick swap going through the hallway, seeing a mirror there. So if they got all 4 items, then everything's good here. All right, so Kazdin is also going to basically finish this, it looks like. I mean, I don't know, maybe don't go to Vidi, but I see exactly what happens here. As all right, it's time for our super fun Vitreous fight here. Got to be careful. We do have green mail, so touching any of those eyeballs will result in 4 hearts damage, but if you only touch the slime on the floor there, then only 1 heart, and, well, Chloe, very nice fight.
Yeah, really good. Close to that NMG strat, really, so nicely done. And there we go. There's the green pendant.
All right.
But you know, do we get the green pendant turn in before heading to Swamp Palace? Do we get an even consideration at pedestal as well? Like, I know, right?
That's I mean, you're asking the big questions here. We're gonna check. Wait, we haven't checked this already. We haven't checked checkerboard yet.
We just got we got the mirror just now.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. That's a good point. You actually have to have the mirror to check this. So, all right, what are we gonna have here?
20 bucks. Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna call that butter sword because that's more fun than anything else. Because I already called silvers earlier. But yeah. So, pulped, reed ped, right?
This looks like maybe a blind pull.
I mean, you got the book here. Pulling ped, that's a full like 20-second cutscene there. So, man, I'm a little surprised getting that mirror that you rush pedestal right now. I guess maybe are you feeling behind?
If you're actually rooting for foxes right now, the best case scenario with this pedestal is Ice Rod, by the way.
Yeah.
Because like that means ether is somewhere convenient and it's just bombs. So
yeah.
that's a feels bad moment. Kazan getting hit by the lightning. Luckily, plenty of health to get through there.
All right. Well, Chloe is pulling out that flute, and we are gonna gamble green pendant right now. It's not necessarily, you know, Chloe is definitely starting to get behind, I'd say, but it's, you know, as long as we're doing an ice rod hunt here, Chloe does have a few extra things finished, namely the back of Thieves Town right now. Is unfortunately we pull out just a fire shield there out of the green pendant turn in.
Yeah, and I think the worry I would have here for Chloe specifically is it's looking more and more like the answer is Swamp Palace or Pyramid Fairy, and Kazan's heading straight to Swamp.
For Kazan, it makes perfect sense to head this direction. Go directly to Swamp, grab whatever it is that you need, and kind of go from there. But I mean, otherwise, this is the kind of a hard decision here. Now, if you're oops all foxes, I think you probably want that ice rod somewhere just terrible. You want it somewhere like up on Graveyard Ledge or something, or throw it in Spike Cave again. I mean, something that causes Kazan to have to dip Turtle Rock without it and not find it.
Yeah, and this is a play for Kazan I actually really appreciate doing, is saying K45 and Bombos Tablet. Let me check these two before going into Swamp. Because if I can put myself one item away from go mode, maybe I skip left side.
Yep. Nope. That's definitely the thing here. I mean, and again, we have to point out that purple chest is a thing, and it has not been checked. We do know that Chloe needs to get themselves over to at least turning in Jeremiah there. Moment that's done, then we've got a nice thing, as there is your ooh boy. Well,
and this is the one thing you don't want to see. If you're either runner, actually.
Yeah.
You want Ice Rod before finding Ether, and unfortunately, that didn't happen. And we just get some bombs on Bombos Tablet. So yeah, this is a tough one. We're entering Ice Rod hunt territory for Kazan, and I don't know how you approach it. We've seen tons of races decided by this, and you feel bad for either runner in that case, because both runners just executing so nicely throughout this race, and somebody's gonna kind of get bit by this one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think here. Well, if I'm Chloe, I think what I do after full clearing Swamp, like I'm full clearing Swamp, I think here, is I'm probably gonna go turn in the big bomb,
Yep.
And then do and then hook across to Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, quite likely.
If you're Chloe, what you're hoping at that point is hooking across to Graveyard Ledge is going to give you Ice Rod. Because the good news for Chloe is that they cannot get into Turtle Rock currently, right? Like,
well, I mean, we can get in, we just can't do much.
well, yeah, they can't do much because they don't have Fire Rod yet. That's kind of what I mean. So you're not going to really be tempted to go there. And Catfish also is there. So like I kind of feel like that might give even more reason for Chloe to maybe head that direction. I don't know. I'm kind of I'm scrambling for something here for Chloe.
Yeah, no, and that's like, I don't disagree. I don't know the right answer here that works. Like, there's got to be Ice Rod's going to have to be somewhere bad. If it is in the path right now for Kazin, I think he goes straight to the back of Swamp.
Yeah,
and only considers coming back in if he doesn't get it.
Right. And the thing is, with this being map compass shuffle, it's not like one of those times where skipping left side means that you're gonna maybe leave the compass in the map over here, because there are 2 items over on this side. There's 8 items currently in Swamp Palace, and we have seen one of them. Kazden has seen one of them. We've seen a couple more on Chloe's side, but they haven't been anything interesting. All right, left side swamp is green 20, because we're getting to that point where we must be pretty close to...
Yeah, we're just about to max everything. And there's the Ice Rod on side swamp, so...
That is not great.
Unless, if Kazden decides that this is a moment where, like, he can skip left side, which I don't know, he's been pretty thorough up to this point. I think he continues to be. Like, I think he'll come back in. So yeah, no, he's going to clear this, and I agree. It's really just a question, does he decide to skip left side? Yeah, and as like, this is the smart play for Kazden. I think if any runner in this situation, 1 item from go mode, you do this. You go to the back, hope that it's here, and if it's not, you come back in.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance that for some reason Kazden might decide to just not do left side. I mean, I don't know how gambly he's gonna feel. Like, going, you might decide, you know what, left side swamp's not a thing. I'm not gonna do it. Man, this is gonna be a real big moment here after this Argus kill.
So Kazden's going to be first to Argus.
I mean, I'm not even on one of these teams here, and I'm sweating bullets.
I was going to say, I'm holding my breath here. Like, oh my god.
All right, so we're going to get into this Argus fight here. Kazden got his not realizing that he doesn't have boots, and the dash strat's not going to work there.
Setting up, the other question that I do want to just point out, we still kind of need boots. Kinda.
They're in TR.
Yeah.
They're going to be in TR.
At this rate, it's looking that way.
All right, so Kazden going to go ahead, set up for the quick kill, gets the quick kill on phase 2 here, takes him down real nice. Chloe also getting pretty quickly through this. Now, that's a big key on Argus, so that might convince Kazden to come in. That's 3 items left in here. I mean, he'd have to be pretty aggressive to skip this. Let's see how he's feeling, though.
Yeah, let's see what the decision is on this one.
All right,
Chloe's probably safe. Heading for... Okay, I'm breathing that sigh of relief. Oh my gosh. Whew.
All right.
And does Chloe go back in? No.
No, one item is just gonna ditch it here. Now running to the left. This could be closer than we think. I mean, because
yeah, this is gonna be Bombo's tablet, and I wonder if we head into Smith Chain.
That's what I'm wondering. Are you gonna go Smith Chain here, or are you gonna go Pyramid Fairy? Because if you go Smith Chain, then we're gonna have both runners very close. Well, actually, Chloe's still going to be quite behind there because we'll have to go ahead and continue and beat Skull Woods. So Kaysden with the pretty sizable advantage at the moment. Then.
Yeah, I don't think it's enough that it's not like GT questions, but it is looking like Kaysden's game right now to lose. And yeah, Chloe, I think we're going to get K45, but does Chloe decide Pyramid Fairy instead?
Man, that's a big question here. So heading towards the right direction.
So there's our K45 check. Chloe exits, and if Chloe does Smith now, this is a lot closer. But it's Pyramid Fairy, and I think the big thing that we could hope, if you're hoping for Chloe to still make a race of this, you're almost hoping for Boots. Because I think that's the only real decider that can help Chloe.
Yeah. Even at this point though, because like Boots just will open up 2 more checks for you that are kind of not in the area that you want to be. This is kind of rough. It's kind of getting to that point where Kaysden would have to do something fairly consequential to kind of do this. It does look like this is probably tilting heavily in their favor right now. But as that is the Ice Rod pickup for Kaysden at the 125 mark, so that's going to put Kaysden and JKLOL into go mode, as Chloe is going to blow open this pyramid and see exactly if Boots are hiding inside, and it's going to be a no.
Wow, so you might be right that this could be a Boots TR.
Boots TR on Laser Bridge. I mean, to be honest, that is I'm not going to say that is one of those things that could swing this race, is if we do end up with that GT big key on the torch, and say Chloe runs into the Boots somewhere down here. That is a big deal. At that point, we're going to have to ask Kaysden, were you paying attention when you went into Desert Palace?
Yeah. And I will say, like, knowing him, he probably did pick up on it. It's just one of those things that in the moment, do you remember?
Yeah. It's easy to be like, oh yeah, okay, so it's Boots locked right now, and then, moment you get in there and you see that there's the big key on the torch in GT, you immediately forget everything that you've ever learned about this game.
Yeah. Oh my God, Boots are in GT, right?
Yeah, they've got to be in here. Oh my God, yeah, exactly. All right, so Catfish, what did you have for us today as Kaysden's about to open up Turtle Rock? Yeah.
Wow, it's a map. So unless it's Spike Cave for those Boots, I think it's TR at this point.
Or Purple Chest. Yeah, it's
Purple
not.
Chest. And
yeah,
if it's Purple Chest, neither runner's finding those Boots.
Yeah, and at that point you just kind of laugh at this. We're going to Graveyard Ledge as well. I guess that's another place it could be, but yeah, I mean, we're starting to get into Chloe needing a pretty big out to get out of this one, but not looking likely, unfortunately, as we get into Turtle Rock on Kaysden's side, picking up this a small key there out of this first compass chest.
Oh, that berry was so rude.
Oh, the jerk berry there at on Kaysden's side. Just going to sit right over that question mark, and Graveyard Ledge for Chloe not going to be the answer, unfortunately, either.
Yeah, and I mean, just to understand how bad that is, Kaysden did the right thing of not swinging his sword. Like, that is like the big no-no. You don't swing a sword at a berry, the Samaria platform. He didn't do that. Platform comes to a stop and knocks him off anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, maybe try to have the piece of the mind to go ahead and, like, flip to your hook shot at that time, as, ooh, that's an interesting key layout here for Turtle Rock. It's possible that we get the God TR?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
not
looking like we're
likely.
gonna see one,
I
or at
mean, not
least
likely here.
something semblance of one.
We need a big key. We need a small key out of the chomp room before we can call this the God TR. But I mean, this is a pretty good one so far.
And here we go, Chloe heading towards the smith, about to get that fire rod and put themselves into go mode as well.
Oh my God, it is! Wow, we are getting the God TR today. This is not a common occurrence here by any stretch of the imagination. All of the keys are in the front. All Kazdin has to do right now is, if he wants, he can go pick up the pokey key, or you can go directly to the back and just and kind of gamble that this is that there's going to be a key somewhere on Laser Bridge. But it looks like we're just going to pick up the pokey key, make it easy.
Yeah, and like there's just no way he's gonna get, this is like, oh, also getting the health, so that makes sense. I guess the only question is, do you want to check for boots?
1 out of 22.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's the convenience as well. Like, I think that's one of those things we almost disregard a little bit of how important it is when you're doing. And yep, Kazden saying, I don't like the 1 out of 22. I also don't like upstairs a GT without boots.
I'm a little surprised, but
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm kind of the same opinion on this one. Like, I get the point, but it's just extra time you're kind of sinking in.
it does feel like you're being overly cautious at this point. I mean, it is, like I said, it's 1 out of 22. Now, if he walks in and grabs the big key off the torch, then I will fully admit to him making the right play. But I mean, even then, it's almost like I would still kind of disagree with the process of it.
Yeah.
All right, we're not going to check Smith Cave. We're not Smith Cave. We're not going to check Mimic Cave. But we are going to keep checking things here.
Yeah, definitely something to ask Hazen about later.
I could add Mimic Cave to the places where boots could be. That could be really bad for both runners here. Is that there they are? All right. So yeah,
So God TR.
That is as nice as you could have been there. So yeah, that's gonna put Kazdin into super go mode, basically, where nothing at this point can pretty much ruin his day outside of execution problems here.
Yeah, and really, like, this is as good as it's gonna get. The only thing we really missed is the half magic, and unfortunately, there's no way we're going for half magic now. Meanwhile, Chloe into the moth fight.
Doing a pretty good job here of taking Moth on. Gets all of the hits there, as Kazen's going to try to go for the bootless, the laser skips here. I don't know if he's forgetting that he just picked up the boots or what, but
I mean, when you've been walking for an hour and a half, you kind of forget.
It looks like he just remembered.
I'll be honest, I do walk setups as well, so I get it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you play enough cross keys, at some point you learn the bootless skips there, and sometimes that's just easier. As all right, Chloe is fluting up, so it's gonna be in TR just after Kazdin is finishing it. Looks like, because we're heading on to try next. They're gonna grab our 7th crystal over on Kazdin's side. Nice little pause there to make sure that you got that hit. Don't want to take too many more of those hugs from Trinex, though.
Definitely not.
Green Mail and Trinex tends to go badly. Chloe actually going to take the time. Looks like going to pick up that half magic here.
Yeah, it's a little bit slower of a route. It really is, but not a bad little piece of, hey, I want to get that safety.
All right, we get a compass to pod, and more importantly, we get the 7th crystal for our GT entry. And so you know what time it is there, everybody. So if you want, go ahead, put your numbers into chat between 1 and 22, where you think the GT big key is gonna be today. You got any sort of call there?
I like 7. It's kind of the number I always go with. Not that it always works, but why not? You?
Let's go 4. Let's have this key super early and just be done with it. I mean, as much time as you spend in GT basement in this game, you're kind of like, it's not the interesting part of the tower. So let's just go on with it, as we've got both sides opening dungeons right now.
I think the way to put it is that you go through phases as a runner and player of the game. When you're early on, you'll love the idea of the search, you know, that random 1 out of 22. When you really get into it, you realize how much fun and interesting the climb is.
Oh
From an
yeah.
execution standpoint, and it's number 1.
Well, that'll be nice and easy then. All right, so we're gonna just run over to the left side real fast and pick up the key from underneath the pod. If there's a key on the torch, that's even easier. Game, what do you want to do? There's a key on the torch. Thank you. All right.
And it looks like we did get one person to say one equalizer guessed number 1.
All right, well done there. As Chloe has picked up the first 2 chests here in GT. Gonna be interesting to see if they make a little bit of a different decision here, as it's into the climb for Kaysden here.
Yeah, and as pointed out in chat, we had Godmire, God Turtle Rock, and God GT. Only thing is that we could not take advantage of Godmire because you had to do the worst room in mine.
Yeah, Godmire, except for the, actually where the items were. So, almost got pushed off there on Chloe's side, but doing just fine. Moving on back, as it looks like we're about to start the gauntlet on Kaysden's side. This is where the real fun begins. This is where the execution really comes into play.
Yeah, and this is purely, we've said this before, NMG, this is your no major glitches, just bread and butter of a run. This is exactly the equipment you'd be having at this point. Tempered Sword, Green Mail. We're a little bit better equipped. I mean, Kaysen's got a couple of bottles, I think, with Blue Goo right now.
Right, I think both runners do there. We've got powder, which is kind of nice there. So if things get a little too hairy, you can be a little reckless right now, and things will likely still work out for you. As this gauntlet, this first couple of rooms of the gauntlet there just went nice and quickly.
Yeah, Gauntlet 3 Gauntlet 3 and 4 were a little less okay, but still decently done. Going to use the powder there and set up for a nice spin here. By using the powder on that bunny beam right outside land mode 2, it actually causes land mode to start to spawn. And if you wait just a little extra long, you can actually get all 3 of them to spawn at the same time and set up for that spin.
Yeah, and if you actually put down that Samaria block in the right place there, and you get a little bit of good RNG, you can go ahead and just grab take down all of them in one shot, which is just one of the most beautiful things you'll see in Rando.
So now
really hard to do though.
Chloe did skip the big chest, did skip the vanilla big key chest. We'll see if Chloe decides to skip, and yeah, Chloe is doing the full god TR here. So not gonna actually get the boots.
It's that's at this point probably not gonna matter.
Yeah. It's just it's the kindness of the end of a seed. Like, I think you almost don't think about it, but that last room before Aga 2 is actually a terrible room without boots.
Oh yeah. It's awful. But I mean, I'm not sure, like, really at this point, even not picking up the boots, I'm not really sure how much time Chloe would lose. Like, you don't get to use the boots in some of these other rooms, but at the same time, like, that last room in GT is probably the best place that you could use them on the climb. A couple, the collapsing bridge as well. Yeah, all in all, not that big a deal. As doesn't matter anyway because Moldorm 2 is down on Kazden's side. We're headed on to Aga 2. Oof, Chloe also got to be a little careful here. Looks like we're going to set up for a more of a safe strat here on Trinex, not going for the double spins. And down he goes. So 7 crystals for Chloe, but Kazden being on Aga 2, just getting a single on that one cycle here. Not really getting lovely patterns there. These are kind of terrible. Oof, single. And now we're out of sync. Gets the double there.
Yeah, just at the last second before Aga probably did another time. Yeah, that was graduate level agonometry. Whew.
Yeah, that was not a whole lot of fun there. Just pretty much everywhere that you wanted to be for that there. Easy there, Chloe. It's just hugging Lionels is not recommended.
Yeah, a lot of discussion in chat about, how much time does Boots really save this late in a race. I mean, you see it a little bit from that walk from TR to GT. You're going to see it a little bit in a couple rooms here in the gauntlet and the climb, but it's not a lot. It really is like in that 30 seconds to a minute range at best, or worse, depending on how you look at it.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna go left side as Chloe is right now, it's gonna be a little bit more, unfortunately, because just adding a few more rooms to your ledger here, as Kazden gets through the first 2 phases here of Ganon, and we're now into the angry stomping tantrum phase here in phase 3.
I can't wait to hear where our silvers were, because as always, with this being hard mode, they didn't exist, but we got plenty of different exciting phrases.
Oh, Dracula. Oh, come on. Are we finally going to get that vaunted Symphony of the Night randomizer here alongside this?
Oh, there'd be a combo.
All right, so Kazden setting up Ganon here pretty nice, getting a couple of good triples there. Setting him up, getting another one there. Oh yeah, this is a pretty nice Ganon fight so far.
Yeah, really clinical so far on these. So the practice is showing for sure on these. Like this is a very difficult thing to work through and to get. And there we go. There's the last spin for Kazden to take down Ganon. Just gonna have to cross that bridge and take this race for JKLOL.
All right, that's gonna take a 2-1 lead there for JKLOL as Kazden goes ahead, crosses the line with a race time of 1:41:39. So that is a real nice thing. And with any luck, we should be hearing from Kazden here, and it looks like that is exactly who has joined us here in the commentary booth there. GG's there, Kazden.
GG.
So I guess first off there, how are you feeling about that seed there? Those nice boots in Crystal Roller Room?
You know, when I got to Desert and I hadn't touched Escape yet, and it's locked, I thought, oh great, boots are probably just sitting in Escape, and I've been missing them for like an hour plus. So yeah, that was not fun.
Well, on the plus side, both of you decided to ignore the uncle for a long time. Chloe went in at about 45 minutes, you in the hour mark, so yeah. Chloe actually didn't get the boots. Skipped Crystal Roller Room, took the God TR and decided not to look back.
Yeah, we were talking about that afterwards, and I guess Chloe saw I had boots on the restore. I was like, what the heck? Where are boots? It's like, oh, you walked right past them. They're just sitting in Crystal Roller. I knew there was probably about a 50-50 chance they're in TR, either that or somewhere on the overworld. So I figured I might as well full clear it, because if I get them, even if it doesn't save net time, like GT Gauntlet without boots is just awful.
I figured that was your plan.
Yeah.
By the way, I have to point out again, we've talked about this so much, but your opening for this mode and just open in general, the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 tree pull, once again, kind of paying out.
Yeah, I'm starting to really like having the checking 2 different tree pull tiers. I was all getting ready to save and quit and go to CAC from the south and just farm some bombs, and the tier 1 paid out, so saved me some time.
Oh, was that tier 1 that was the 4 bombs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was tier 3, so because I know the first one you did
tier
was
3 was 1 rupee.
Okay.
Oh, makes perfect sense there. You get the 1 rupee is the tier 3, and the 4 bombs is the tier 1. That makes perfect sense, game.
Yeah. Almost like it's random.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I did kind of wonder there. Were you at all tempted after when you were doing not Skullwoods, but Swamp Palace there, and you got all the way through, you just got Ether Medallion. Were you tempted at all to just kind of say, you know what, Ice Rod's going to be in TR, let me rush TR?
If it hadn't been MC Shuffle, absolutely. But I was kind of planning on that. If I hadn't got the big key on the boss, it would have been a lot harder decision. But with 3 items in the back, there was no way I was leaving.
Yeah, because at that point we were kind of wondering if that was
even with 2, I don't know if I could leave 2 items. 1 item, sure, in like a normal open 7/7, I'd probably leave it 9 times out of 10. Maybe do Pyramid Fairy first and then go up to TR, but with that many items in there, it's just I couldn't leave it.
Yeah, because we were trying to figure out exactly at that point, like what could have gotten Chloe back into the race there. Because unfortunately, like the big sticking point of this was Fire Rod there on Smith Chain, and Chloe ended up missing that for quite a while. And you picked that up off of Smith there for a while. It seemed like Chloe had the advantage, and then when you got that Fire Rod, everything changed because. I mean, as you can see on the restream, Chloe has everything done. We even got to see what was on PED today.
Yeah, I heard. I'm guessing there was nothing interesting in Thieves Town in the back.
Yeah, back of Thieves was dry. Green Pendant turn-in was nothing. We saw the overworld check that you skipped. So we did see Big Bomb, the Graveyard Ledge, Catfish. The only thing I think we never got a chance to see was Spike Cave. And of course the boots checks, but
yeah,
that wasn't happening.
Yeah, no, there's no way you're doing boots checks unless, I mean, I guess if you end up in TR, somehow getting them early maybe, but you have to route the seed really, really different for that to happen.
But Chloe into the Ganon fight, also getting, looks like we're going to see that 2-1 as well. Oh, the question I guess about Meyer, getting that mirror. Any thought of leaving? We saw a lot of discussion there, especially given the fact that Vitreous was good. I think almost we knew that was just going to be a small key at that point.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I guess it could have been an item and put a small key in, what was it, the last gross chest on the east.
Right.
But I with the green pendant there and with how little I had left, like, let's just finish it because I don't want to come back in here to kill Vidi just to go to green pendant. We'll just get it out of the way, and if I have to go to it, I will. I wasn't planning on rushing to it since I had the mirror. It's like I have a dungeon I can go clear. Opens up the big bomb, so if I don't hit there, my plan was just to head up north up to Catfish and then flute to green pendant, and then I'd just go do the TR dive.
All right, Chloe's almost done here with this phase 4 of Ganon. So one more shot takes him down, and that's going to be a finish for Chloe Prower there, as raising their sword up into the air. They're going to cross the line here. Unfortunately, coming in second place in this race here with a time of 1:48.23 there. So make sure you get your GGs into chat there as well. And I'm kind of curious to how you guys about Ice Palace with both of you, but I'm kind of wanting to wait till Chloe gets in here, and then there they are. GG's there to Chloe, who's now joining us in the commentary booth today.
Hiyo, GG's. Yep.
Well, definitely GG's to you there. Kind of got every part of that seed there, didn't you?
I mean, I felt like my execution was good, if nothing else. I routed all over the place with that. Probably could have made a couple better guesses. I don't know. I ended up chasing those flippers really hard and put off Desert for way too long.
To be completely honest, I don't blame you. Don't blame you for either of those, because I mean, going to Desert when you did, it's kind of like probably made the most sense in my mind, because you don't want to go in there and see the big key on the torch and then just go, well, I can't do anything now.
Yeah, but I saw the small key on the torch and was feeling a little bit miffed that I had not found boots at that point yet. Yeah.
So I take it. You have been informed of the boots location.
I have been informed that I walked right past the boots. Yes. If the key layout was any different in Turtle Rock, I would have checked them.
Oh, of course. Well, I guess I'll ask this question to both of you now that you're both in here. Going into Ice Palace there, when you had the kind of the 50-50 between Ice Palace and Desert there, how were you feeling coming out?
Oh, man.
I
Cleared
was
both pendant
feeling
dungeons.
pretty behind. When you go in, you get nothing, and you find out it was a pendant that you could have completely skipped. And then the kind of insult to injury was, for me at least, was finding Samariev right after. It's just like, oh, great.
Yeah, I felt like I did the same thing too.
Oh, you guys did the exact same thing at the exact same time there. It was pretty funny, actually.
That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, you were going through ice at the same time, and immediately both went to Desert Palace, pretty much. So,
did Kaysen have the fire rod at that point? Because I had put off Smith for a while.
yeah. Kaysen had put off a lot of the Dark World loop for a while, and it was only like right after doing Thieves and going with the rest of the loop did Kaysen grab Smith at the same time. Because the early, you pretty much did very similar early routes. The early divergence was actually right after Eastern. Kaysen went right to Pod, whereas you did Hype Cave to Pod. So...
Yeah, I figured the early game kind of teased you in the direction that it wanted anyways. I mean, I was
just told you go here, and it was pretty straightforward until all the items just stopped.
Yeah, it felt really good up until getting to Pod, and once you got those myths out of Pod, like, there was nothing for a while. It was pretty barren. I guess the play would have been to go to Desert right after that, but that's a hard play to make.
Yeah, without boots and without a map, knowing if you can even do it, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're gonna god route this seed, like after doing Pod, you go into Mire and get that mirror, and
yeah.
But I mean, that's a spoiler log level of playing right there, honestly.
Yeah, I put off Desert Area and Mire, and yeah. Oh well. Oh well.
I mean,
it was an interesting seed. Let's put it that way. Like the fact that boots were buried in Turtle Rock but still required was weird.
I mean, to be completely honest with you, Chloe, I agree with you that your execution was great, and you know you spent a little bit more time in pendant dungeons, but I mean I don't. I mean, you know, you throw the mirror in the back of Thieves down instead of Meyer there, and then the seed's very different for you. I mean, Rando's Rando, right?
That's very different for me too.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can't complain. Like I said, I think I could have made better decisions that seed, and yeah, I got punished for them, and that's just kind of how it goes. And I mean, you know, not to say that Kazden didn't beat me, because Kazden totally beat me there. I mean, like, if I make a mistake, he's definitely going to capitalize on it. That's kind of how I felt going into this race, and kind of how it turned out.
I was gonna say, I think
we both have the same thought going into it. Like, we just can't afford it. Like, I know you're a good runner, and I can't afford to, you know, make any major hiccups, because it's not gonna, you're not gonna let me get away with it.
I have to say, at least from our standpoint, I think we all kind of knew that for.
Oh man, tense bracket. I mean, it's just getting really, really tense. It's been exciting getting this far in tournament setting.
You got both of your teams have got a lot more action next season here, because you guys will be up in the Invitational League there. So every week will be a crazy match.
Yeah. Me and my team were talking how this is basically the bonus round at this point, because we already got our smash ticket, as it were. But yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of fun playing it like kind of like this high level against really good opponents, and you know, just seeing like just one decision or one small thing different, and the whole race swings in your favor or against you. And I mean, I don't know, I like that sort of stuff. That's why I play Rando.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm glad. I mean, you know, I'm glad everybody's having fun, and I mean that is kind of what this whole crazy hobby that all of us have is for after a point there. So you know, again, I'll say this to anybody still watching here: make sure give both of these runners a follow. Give the entire teams a follow there. You know, that'd be JKLOL there, that'd be Kazden, Leoria of Light there, and my co-commentator there, Radical Sniper there on that side, and Chloe Prower, and then, oh man, I'm gonna have to try to get your team names right. And Adalor and Zaruvian. Man, I butchered that. Zaru. We'll just say Zaru.
Zaruvian.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure give everybody a follow there for sure, and you know, big thank yous again to Windfox there behind the scenes clicking buttons of doing the tracking for us today. And with that, guys, anything else that you guys want to say before we shut this thing down for the night?
GG's. I hope I get my revenge in round 5.
Ooh, that's information. Scouting.
Yeah, no, GG's. Thanks for the restream. It's always fun being put up on the restream.
So I guess that's gonna do it for us. Just some bookkeeping. Tomorrow we've actually got a packed day on SpeedGaming for the Open League again. We've got a doubleheader to start the morning, so if you're up 9 a.m. Eastern Time on SpeedGaming 3, we've actually got the first 2 games of the other conference final series. Bottles on Empty and Last Locationeers are going to start off with their pendant, their power pendant, and their wisdom pendant at 9 and 11 o'clock respectively, so do check in for those. And their courage pendant match will be later in the day at about 4 p.m. Eastern on SpeedGaming 4, so do be sure to check those races out.
So that'll start that series, and keep an eye out on the schedule as a Game 4 will be scheduled between these two teams in the near future. And of course, starting Monday, I believe, although I think there's a game already on the schedule for Sunday, will be the conference finals starting as well for the Invitational League. So lots of racing still to go to decide a champion in both the Invitational and Open Leagues.
And I guess, yeah, with that, then that'll probably be all from us tonight, as we're gonna be all done with racing on this side today. But I hope you like Radical Sniper said there, join us here a little bit later, maybe in the morning there if that's where you are in the world. But other than that, big thank yous to Radical Sniper for joining me today.
It has been a pleasure to work with you, Dazed.
Yeah, been looking forward to this for a while, so I'm glad we got the chance. And other than that, everybody, you all have a good night, and we'll catch you all next time.